And we kick it off with the hot topic of the hour. Texas state Republicans scoring a huge victory as the House passes the newly redistricted congressional map, 88 to 52, potentially giving the GOP 5 more seats. This all despite a whirlwind of activity and Democrats' efforts trying to stop the vote from happening. President Trump weighing in on Truth Social, saying, big win for the great state of Texas. Everything passed on our way to 5 more congressional seats and saving your rights, your freedoms, and your country itself. Texas never lets us down. The Texas Democrats, meanwhile, are beside themselves. Watch.
And you have watched Republicans go to every length possible, use every trick in the book, throw everything in the kitchen sink in order to do what they are told. What they are told by Donald Trump, what they are told by the Washington insiders, and what they're told from the billionaire bosses.
It is the start of a new beginning of the new Democratic Party, where we won't back down. We won't put up with their and we will push and push and push until we take over this country. The next battlefield is the courts, and we will win there. And then we take the battlefield to the ballot box. And we will win, and that's why they're scared.
Yeah, a different story over in the Golden State. California Governor Gavin Newsom getting a win in his own redistricting fight as the state Supreme Court denies a request from Republicans to temporarily block those efforts. This sets up a legislative vote today to put the new map on the November ballot, all part of Newsom's push to fight against what Texas is doing. Even Barack Obama weighing in, reportedly telling a swanky Martha's Vineyard fundraiser he believes Newsom is taking a, quote, responsible approach to redistricting. However, California Republicans are putting their Democrat colleagues on notice, highlighting how many of them were more in favor of the Golden State's independent and transparent process on redistricting as recently as July, instead of the fast-tracked Newsom-backed process unfolding. Lots to unpack here. David Avella, your reaction.
It's an interesting process because in Texas, it's always been a matter of when, not if. In the state of Ohio, also ordered by the courts to redraw their lines, it's a matter of when, not if, that we will pick up seats in both of those states. In states like California, fortunately, the voters have to approve a new process. A process, let's not forget, Maria, the Democrats put in place to put it to their advantage the last time, and now they have said, wait, we didn't do enough. We got to do a little bit more. And why does all this matter? Because think about this. You take these new districts that could happen because of redistricting. You take 8 seats that Democrats won, but Donald Trump also carried. You could easily see, with Republicans picking up those seats, a majority that's 10, 15 seats in the House. And so many of these right-sizing of government budget things that congressional Republicans and Donald Trump passed this year could be codified to be longer. The tax cuts could be kept in place. It would be a new day for fiscal sanity in Congress.
You know, it's amazing to me that they're even talking about California being a victory because this has been going on so long. How much more juice did they have in that lemon?
Yeah.
Well, they could pick up 4 or 5 seats, but it's short-term victories, Maria,
yeah.
Because come after the next census, when they're guaranteed to lose congressional seats, these new Democrats they're putting in place will have very short tenures in Congress.
That's a great point. Cheryl, Democrats not only facing the likability crisis, voter registration is declining on the Democrat line. An analysis from the New York Times shows that Democrats lost an estimated 2.1 million voters across 30 states between 2020 and 2024's presidential election. There are currently more registered Democrats than Republicans nationwide. However, more voters registered with the GOP in 2024. For the first time in 6 years. Vice President J.D. Vance asked about all of this last night by Laura Ingraham. Here's how he feels about the House staying red after next year's midterms.
I think we have a good chance, but take nothing for granted, Laura. You have the Democrats are still trying to register illegal aliens. They still explicitly say that they want illegal aliens to vote in federal elections. We still have, I think, a lot of headwinds from the media. They never tell the truth about what we're doing, about what the president has accomplished for the American people. So don't rest on our laurels. Keep on achieving victories for the American people and keep on trying to win. That's our path to being able to continue to govern this country. I'm not going to bank anything in 2026. We just have to keep working at it.
What do you think, Cheryl?
Well, Maria, it's their policies that have taken them down this path. They have no one to blame but themselves. You know, whether it was Joe Biden, the Biden administration, it was all about climate change and transgender rights and, you know, all these are the things that the American people said that they just weren't focused on. A wide open border. All of these things are what has sunk them and is going to likely sink them again next year in the midterms. You know, despite this redistricting fact, the Gavin Newsom has more problems in that map right now. He's got a continuous outflow of residents. People have had it with blue state policies, blue city policies, sanctuary city policies, and everybody knows the numbers in November and the data that we got right after the November 2024 election explained all of this. And if Jasmine Crockett, I don't know if she wants to be in Congress or an influencer, Maria. I really can't figure her out, but she's probably losing her seat no matter what because of what just happened with the map in Texas.